Welcome everybody, welcome. My name is Kurt Anthony Marshall. I'm a motivational speaker and I'm an author. But today is not about me. Today we are celebrating 20 years of changing lives through nature. And this exciting reveal to the next step in this amazing journey. We have already 500 people who have already registered for this launch. And it is exciting. I cannot wait. So now we have a little video for you to set the scenes for changing lives through nature. Enjoy.
The Cape Town Environmental Educational Trust, known as SATEET, was formed in 2001.
We can see all the smiles on these faces and we can see the excitement that filled these kids' eyes. For their first time at Bush Camp, it was a wow factor experience.
The most amazing experience is coming up with ideas using their own initiative.
There are two aspects that the children benefit from the camps. One is in personal growth. That's acquiring skills of leadership and communication. The second aspect is the conservation side of things and the understanding that sustainable living is incredibly important.
The kids move up into an area here where they're learning things that are spiritual almost, and the children develop in a totally different way. And I think once touched by this program, they will never ever change and never be what they were before.
SATEET is giving back to the community by changing the kids' lives. In 2007, I had a camp with SATEET, and that really changed my life. Every morning when I wake up, there's a smile on my face because I know I'm going to work now. Away from the city bus into nature where it's peace and quiet. SATEET make their dream come true for me. SATEET give these kids hope to life, change their life through nature. At the end of each camp, when I see a kid smile, then I know my job is done.
Wow, really, that is such a touching story for me because it's crazy how passionate these kids are. I mean, how excited they are. So how did this all start? I mean, 20 years ago, I was 15 years old, rocking a 3310 Nokia. I mean, gee whiz, that's like a generation ago. But how did this all start? How did it all go from the Zikoflay Environmental Education Program to the Cape Town Environmental Education Trust? And how is it the foundation to what we are excited to launch today? We have some people here today who have been there from the start. Anthony, I know you came a bit later, but Dave and Dalton, take it away.
So the first 5 years, our primary focus was on the camping program, and it's all we did basically. We weren't really visiting schools. We had nothing beyond the camping, and the idea was the children coming on these camps would have this amazing experience and also would learn about the environment, and so would be, we would be converting people into conservation officers themselves. So that was the idea.
What was remarkable was how the organization had grown between 2001 and 2010. I think we started to identify and grow the different channels, the different pillars of what the organization represented. So from the education to see how we could build on the training, our activities with the Nature Care Fund, and I think in seeing that increase and seeing those structures in place and that traction being gained, we started seeing then increasing number of donors, increasing interest in funding that great work.
I think the name change is kind of has marked the progression of our growth as a organization.
And it was organic growth, from education to employment. And that was exciting to see that organic growth from one to the other. And hence the kind of geographical movement from just Sekeflei, the Sekeflei Environmental Education Program, to the Cape Town Environmental Education Trust. It does honestly change people's lives. When they connect with nature, they connect with their natural heritage, it makes the person more complete and more whole.
We had to come up with an idea to take that environmental education message to a broader group.
You know, when you see a piece of paper, it's easy to pick it up, but it's easier just to walk past and let it go. But that's not the person that you want to be. You know, you want to start with the simple disciplines of picking up a piece of paper. And through this program, again, you know, so many of these small disciplines that we need in our foundation to grow is right here. You know, they teach, the Satit is teaching us these things. You know, it needed to go viral, you know, like we always say in the color community, needs to go boss, you know, like really needs to go crazy. So, I mean, I love it, and it makes me, it really warms my heart to be a part of something like this. Even if it's just a small percentage, I really feel quiet.
Yeah, Kurt, it's great to have you as part of this whole process. And love the energy, and we want you to go boss. We do. We love that that the younger generation is coming on board and giving it the energy that helps us do what we do well.
20 years later, it's like basically paving the way for some legacy to stand for. I mean, I don't know where you guys are going to be in the next 10 years. I mean, it's really amazing, and it's truly, like I said, it's heartwarming.
So one of the key metrics is education impact hours. So that's the number of hours that we get to spend with the individuals on those different programs. And that could be from lecturing, it could be field work, it's school outings, environmental events where people have an opportunity to partake and give of themselves and give of their time. And it's pulling that together across the varied programs that we run, that we see and we can track how we are growing, how our value add is bringing about that change.
It's bound to be a success. And already you guys are almost up to 2 million hours. And it's crazy. I mean, really, it's something that you guys need to be proud of. Goosebumps, you know, listening to growth it's all about, you know, changing your life and changing the world, and you can do it together.
I think for me, it really encapsulates when I see people coming into their own, when I see kids coming off the conservation leadership program, when I see people with their qualification, and it's not just the qualifications, it's the fact that they're engaged with nature. And I believe that nature is integral to us as people. We come from nature. We come from a natural history. We're not creatures of a city. We're actually creatures that come from nature. And that, I've just seen it so many times and experienced it so many times, when people become more fulfilled and more whole in who they are because they're connected with nature. And then they've grown.
We're changing people's lives through nature. Like I was saying, that you come across a person that was never ever interested in anything, and they come into the learnership and their whole mindset changes.
So I think critical to what we do is reconnecting people to nature. It's creating that association, that connection, that sense of opportunity. And I think around opportunity, we build value. So when we see an opportunity, whatever that may be, it might be for that spiritual connection experience. It might be for upskilling myself. It might be for finding a job.
So my journey with Satit started in 2017, around October, after my student year at Steenbras Nature Reserve. So I was an intern. It was a semi-rural setting because it was far out from the city. I was able to get from that was I was able to transfer from Steenbras to Edith Stevens Nature Reserve in the year. So Edith Stevens is more community conservation because we're right in the city, we're in the middle of a community. So we're doing a lot of community work. So I got experience from both section of both rural and community work. And I must say that helped a lot, especially integrating back into the nature reserves in the city. And then also getting into the Penguin Ranger program. That was a completely different experience, which was coastal. I learned a lot about managing teams as well. So my experience from the internship to being a Penguin Ranger, I feel has led me to being able to sit in the position as a site manager, because I got so much experience from different areas within the conservation sector.
It all starts with the person experiencing nature. And that's why changing lives to nature is such an apt term, because the ramifications of that small change can be huge. I mean, we've seen people come from our education programs to now working full-time in the conservation career because they went to one school camp and they visited nature. How do we manage to hold on to our natural heritage? It's one of the things that you can't replace, or maybe at huge expense replace once it's gone. And so what do we need if we're going to have a good standard of living for our cities into the future? And we're obviously going to need education. We need people to be aware of what we've actually got. And it all starts with environmental experience, because the desire to conserve and the desire on nature is actually an emotional response. It's an emotive response. And we need people to have that at a base level, but then we need to move on from that. And that's where we need people that are educated and trained, men and women that are trained with that passion. So this isn't just a job. This comes out of a deep-seated experience and love for nature, and wanting to see our children inherit what we have today, and at least in the state that we have it, if not better. I mean, let's dream for something better, in a better state.
I'm taught by the program about environmental issues, and I go home and I teach my family about that. And from there, we start changing the way we do things.
One more thing that you said, Ntombi, is that you learn from where you are, and going from where you are, you take that same learnings and you take it home and you teach them, and then you grow. So here we have Bongani Mnisi, who's from the city of Cape Town, and he's one of the partners who's going to come and share some of the insights that he has. Thank you for joining us, Bongani.
Thank you for inviting me. You are creating security in that crash to career, because many children, they don't know what to do. Studying up, most children even get to matric not knowing what to do, and they take a gap year and they never really return into society and being able to do anything meaningful. But with the Cash to Career program, you're able to nurture a child from young age, and you see and you introduce them to various programs that are suited to their age category. And they then, depending on how well they do, they're able to be funded into various career streams, and they also be given internship programs when they're starting as young professionals.
So Bongani, it is wonderful that you're one of the partners, but the question still stands, why are you supporting Satit?
A person like me, for instance, who grew up in Mpumalanga, closer to Kruger National Park, spending most of my time in nature, had it not been for that opportunity, I don't think I would have known or even understood what nature is about. So creating those opportunities for children enables them to have a memory which interests them, in issues of nature, and they're able to make reference to that, whatever career that, that they take, they actually always make reference to nature. They always want to take even their children to nature.
So without a doubt, Satit has got a great track record with the Table Mountain Fund, really top-notch executant. So well done, and thank you for that. Definitely take the least amount of energy to manage these projects. For myself and our project manager, it's lovely just to sit back and say, okay, this one will run. We don't need to worry too much about this project.
It is very good at creating partnerships, is very good at maintaining them, is very good at making people feel that their funds are well managed. Satit is trusted and has got ethics. Satit doesn't look down on opportunities. I think something you would see as very small, Satit actually expands that and actually make it much more a lucrative program.
We've been extremely happy with the relationship we've had with Satit over the past 9 years. I mean, I think the integrated program that you've managed to build, where you've taken children from primary school ages through to potential career paths, is really what's very important. Trying to build a sustainable model that gives young people a career path in a sustainable living. I think that's something we're extremely proud of.
We've been in it for the long haul right from the start, but that's only been because our donors have been prepared to stick with us and to continue funding our programs. And also, I mean, you know, one of the things that Satit has been very good at is being quite agile in terms of being able to adapt to different environments.
So I can only imagine how it feels for you guys as partners in supporting such an amazing work that, you know, Satit has been doing thus far. So I mean, I'm sure that you guys are at one point speechless.
We see it at AGMs and then we get all teary and we go, oh, wow, that's incredible. Did they really do that?
We wouldn't have had the successes and the celebration of where we are today if it weren't for you. So to our donors and partners and the team that's taken us this far, thanks. That means the world to me and means the world to those beneficiaries that have the privilege of coming on one of our programs.
One of the things that's really impressed us is the life path that you've created, or been able to create.
I didn't know a thing about conservation. I started learning about conservation.
Environmental path. I've personally witnessed the testimony of one of your students who really said that if it wasn't for the spark that was created through the work that Satit did, she would never have taken the path of moving into the field of nature conservation. And I think that's the testimony to the work you've done. We know that throughout your organization, there are many of those examples, and those examples become the beacon of hope for those others that are left in those communities.
But what Satit did, those who felt not belonging, you created a belonging for them. They felt safe with Satit and they were able to springboard from there and get into the market space. I mean, I can't count anymore how many people have gone through Satit.
How do we link somebody who has had an experience where they now love nature? How do they get the training? And once they got the training, where do they get a job? And it links those three stages of people's lives. And we've seen this now after 20 odd years. We've seen people actually go through all these stages.
We believe is our unique selling point. It's something that makes us different as an organization because we invest in people, we invest in their growth in that space. And it's something that each year that goes past and we see individuals coming through those programs and elevating themselves, elevating how they see themselves as well as their role in the environment is just so incredibly warming that it's something we want to take out. We want to take it out as far and wide as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the moment you've all been waiting for. And I'm sure you're sitting there nail biting, waiting for this wonderful and spectacular moment to arrive. We've heard 20 years of amazing moments, changing lives through nature. They always say, go big or go home. What does the next 20 years hold for us? Ladies and gentlemen, the future.
As an organization, we asked ourselves, how do we take changing lives through nature to the next level? How can we add more value and have an even bigger impact? How do we bring nature education, experiences, and opportunities to thousands more kids and adults? The answer is a new brand that strongly carries forward our vision, a brand that can grow beyond a region or country, a brand that embodies and furthers our mission of changing lives through nature and takes it into a brighter and greener future. We are proud to have so many of you join us in celebrating this exciting milestone today. We are proud to reveal NatureConnect.
Wow, guys, NatureConnect, changing lives through nature. And I'm so sure that you guys are so excited, and I'm excited for you guys. We had 20 years of amazing years, changing the people's lives what does the next 20 years hold for the people of NatureConnect? Please tell us.
You know, Kurt, we too are so super excited about this. And it's been a journey for us. It's no easy task, changing names, changing brand. And it's been definitely a team effort. And we've engaged with our stakeholders as well through this process. And we are delighted. It brings together so nicely all the work that we do. So nature is the foundation of everything we do, but we believe so strongly in connecting amongst people, connecting people with nature, and really in bringing those two together, we lay that foundation for where we're going, understanding that we've built 20 years of foundation as Satit, and we look forward to what NatureConnect is going to deliver.
As we're moving into a lot of new projects, the right time to review our brand and come up with something new, fresh, exciting, and something which in actual fact isn't linked to a particular space, region, city, which is just accessible to everyone.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Anderson and I'm NatureConnect's Sustainable Schools Program Manager. Recognizing the need to further our message of environmental stewardship, we launched our Sustainable Schools program earlier this year, supported through our online sustainability hub. So this program provides a platform for schools throughout Africa to connect. So we are wanting to build a community of practice, allowing for access to resources and commonality in our environmental message. So essentially, it's a place to share successes and lessons that are learned from one another. We are greatly excited for the book by Environmental Centre to come online in 2022, with the promise of introducing upwards of 3,000 youth annually to a magical outdoors experience. With partners in other provinces already coming on board, we aim to have the Sustainable Schools program active in the majority of South African schools by 2030, and then to extend beyond our borders in the next 2 years. As we look to increase NatureConnect's influence and position within the environmental education and conservation space, we expect our representation on the African chapter of the Society of Ecological Restoration to link with the United Nations Decade of Ecological Restoration, and then to facilitate the creation of partnerships and resolutions required to roll this program out internationally. So I'm so excited for this new chapter of NatureConnect's journey, and to grow and encourage others around us to be a part of the environmental movement and to actually steward and care for our natural resources. And I feel like we've got such an important role to play in our positioning currently and where we are going as a future organization.
We think that the opportunity to roll out a sustainable schools program, both in South Africa and Southern Africa, is a vital link in enabling the youth of the various countries to contribute to the conditions around them. Our personal community and the way that we live can have an impact on the environment that we live in as well. And we think that the Sustainable Schools project is something that is scalable and is much needed outside the traditional curriculum of schooling.
That does lead to those aha moments and those life-changing moments, and that child often goes back into their own communities with a completely different way of viewing things and with a knowledge of the value of nature. So we're committed to changing lives through nature.
Building future leaders for biodiversity, So it's a leader for biodiversity in that whether you become a medical doctor or an engineer or an aerospace or whatever, you still understand that you can't destroy nature because that is the fabric of all life. But I can tell you that wherever you plant this program, it will certainly just take off and run. That's just how I see it.
Hi everyone, my name is Toshkili Gilliland and I am the Training and Development Manager for NatureConnect. For the last 14 years, we have been operating within the skills development space, and we've been offering various learning interventions. Becoming an accredited training provider, it's a huge achievement for any organization, and it allows us to train what is relevant and to show our agility and responsiveness to various training interventions. The green economy is constantly changing and evolving. And as an NGO, we are able to adapt very quickly and respond to all of these industry changes.
Hi everyone, my name is Louise Matsky. I'm the Green Skill Strategist for NatureConnect. NatureConnect, I feel, is really well placed in collaborating and creating partnerships with various stakeholders across different sectors and bringing that all together in our various programs and in training and development. We are able to quickly adapt and to develop new programs and new training interventions required by whichever industry it might be. And I think that's an invaluable role that NatureConnect can play in the training sector.
I would say we're at the cutting edge of work that's happening in the green economy, especially in South Africa, and people have been prepared to support us in that.
The vision for NatureConnect is to be a leading institution of learning and the go-to place for young people who want to pursue a career in conservation and to produce learners that are of a high standard and that are industry ready. Through our learning interventions, we offer both technical skills and soft skill development. Many of the youth that we work with come from disadvantaged communities and have many social challenges. And as an organization, we commit to supporting them, and a very key element of our programs is mentorship, and we guide them and support them in whichever way possible so that we can equip them to be able to overcome many of the challenges that they are facing at an individual level, but also at the community level.
You're not just building people professionally, but you're building people personally. You making people resilient. You're making people strong. People are learning how to work with different people as well. So it's going to be amazing that you can branch out and reach more people and actually bring them into the environmental sector.
NatureConnect gives people an opportunity to take action. My name is Lynette Monroe and I work with the Nature Care Fund. All the work that we do requires funding. And what we are doing here is creating financial solutions to channel funds towards conservation and to sustain a funding supply to conservation efforts. We create funding mechanisms that are collaborative, they require collaborative management, and they are co-funded. The funding comes from a diverse range of different streams, but people recognize and acknowledge they need to be involved and have a responsibility to direct funding towards nature. Having finance available is lovely, and having people who are able to work with nature and in nature is also lovely, but we need land with nature on it. So by default, we have to fall into processes linked to land transformation. So we engage in that space with an aim to expand the conservation estate and set land aside forever for conservation, for nature to thrive. So we have to have that element, and we are involved there. And then going forward, we are expanding our work in the financial solutions to direct money to conservation, bottom line. We want to use those funds to continue the work we're doing and expand the work we're doing in, for instance, our species-specific projects, where we are helping to draw species back from the brink of extinction. And we want to use funds increasingly to explore nature-based solutions to some of the problems. And then, just putting boots on the ground. We've got nature areas that need people on the ground. So by creating these funding solutions that are sustained, we can increasingly make a contribution to managing nature better and stewarding nature better for everyone.
I believe that through NatureConnect, there's an opportunity to assist businesses in how best to embrace their responsibilities in the new environment.
So the power of the NPO sector is its ability to collaborate, where the bottom line is on bringing about change. It's not simply about return on investment. Obviously, it includes that, but it's about bringing about change. And I think in bridging that public-private NPO sector space, we will drive growth and bring about that change. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to partnerships. It's about a common belief, a shared belief in making things work for the better of society. And we're an organization that focuses on partnerships, and I really look forward to taking those partnerships to new heights.
It is with partnerships you are able to do more. We need to be working together, sharing ideas and skills in order to continue making our world, our Cape Town, our South Africa sustainable.
So we're really excited about our future. I think at a time when we need to drive a global consciousness around sustainable development, we're well positioned to roll out our training and education programs to a broad scale and to channel funds towards nature conservation initiatives. Right now, I don't believe NatureConnect could be any better positioned than where we are in terms of those partnerships and in terms of the vision of where we're taking things. We believe and we commit to connecting people to nature and people to people and people to cause to bring about that change that we so desperately need. And the reality is that it's a team effort. It's a team effort from partnerships. It's a team effort from internally how we do that. And I think we're backed by an exceptional team who have a deep belief in what we do. And NatureConnect will continue to change lives through nature. And we look forward to the rest of you coming along on this journey with us.
So this has been a really amazing launch, and it's such an honor to be part of such a platform. I really, really see the passion in your guys' eyes. I see how you guys give, and like I said to you earlier, give of yourself, because when you give of yourself, that's when you truly, truly give. I just want to say thank you to all the people who have been on this call, and I want to thank the people who have been watching and being involved in NatureConnect. I really, really feel part of this journey, and I'm so excited to see what NatureConnect has in store for changing people's lives in the future. So ladies and gents, go and check out their website, NatureConnect.earth, very fitting, and see what they're going to be doing in the future. And also check out their social media platforms, NatureConnect SA. I'm actually on Instagram right now, and I'm going to follow. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you to NatureConnect.